What is up, everybody? Welcome into episode 45 of the Brahma Bullpen. Another winning episode, baby. Let's go, Brahmas. Renegades came down here to the cow pasture. They didn't like what happened. We got highlights for you. We got stats for you. We're going to go through this and break it down. Sorry if this episode is long. There's just so much stuff we want to talk about. Playoff implications. Little teaser. Brahmas made the playoffs, baby. Let's go. Horns forward. On behalf of United Football Media, I appreciate you joining me out here in the cow pasture. Please stick around all the way to the end. We got a special treat. The last clip in this video is going to be a clip from the locker room that was posted by Brahma's Media. We got it here for you, too. We'll talk about that. We got stats and everything. Man, what a great show we got for you. Thank you for joining me here on the Brahma Bullpen. Like, share, subscribe, baby. Let's go. Before we go any further, we just want to acknowledge some of our competition for this first year of the UFL, the second year of the Brahmas' existence. We have locked up a berth into the in the playoffs. We still are fighting for home pasture advantage. Way to go, Brahmas. Way to go, coaching staff. Way to go to all you Brahmas fans that actually show up to the games. But if you're a DC fan and you're watching this because you're a hater, I got a little something for you. We're going to let you go out with a little bit of class. Here we go. Producer put this together just for you.
Hey, 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 goodbye. Na, 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 na. Na, 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 na. Hey, 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 goodbye.
RIP DC's playoffs hopes. We do that in kid. That's one of the top, 2, 3 football movies of all time. Remember the Titans. Everybody knows that one. We also have another video. This is a video from an actual, we would consider, down here, we live in a real cow pasture. And if you guys seen in the videos, you know that. But sometimes you got fake cowboys. Maybe we call them renegades. I don't know. But look what happens when a fake cowboy was caught on video trying to rope like a real bull. Watch this. Don't do it, fake cowboy. You ain't even got no hat.
Really?
Oh. That ain't even a real bull, and he beat you up, man. I did not make that. Producer did not make that. That was posted by the Brahma, the SA Brahma's X account, Twitter account. So thank you for posting that, sir. And then last thing we have live reaction from the Arlington press conference post game. A lot of you have seen this clip before, but I bet you didn't know it was from the Arlington post game after the Brahmas kicked their butts down here in the Alamo Dome.
What's that? Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game. Another game.
Well, you only won one, sucker? Well, I'm just kidding. Sorry about that. It's like picking on your little brother, You do it out of love. You pick on the Renegades and you pick on the Roughnecks down here in Texas. It's like picking on your little brothers. The Brahmas won the Battle of Texas. We got the belt, and we clinched a berth in the playoffs. Let's go, baby. I mean, that's why this episode is so long. I just want to sit here and talk about making the playoffs, man, in year 2 of our existence after the first year that we went through where we didn't win very many games. Now we're in the playoffs. It's awesome. This graphic here was also posted by Brahma social media. I did not make this one. And I like to make sure to say that so no one thinks I'm taking credit for other people's stuff. But this is a great graphic. There's a couple other great graphics coming up. And I thought I would just share it with you guys in case you didn't see it, right? And then we also got the preview of our conference championship game. Because the Brahmas have locked in a playoff spot, Sunday, June 9th, 7 p.m. on Fox, the XFL Conference Championship will happen between the San Antonio Brahmas and the St. Louis Battlehawks. Freaking awesome, man. It's so great. We have 2 games left in the regular season. We can take that time to get healthy if we want. We could take that time to work towards winning both games and clinching home field advantage. I'm sure Brahmas fans down here in the Dome, we would love to have home field advantage for the first playoff, especially since the championship game is already going to be in St. Louis, right? So if we can get a playoff game here in San Antonio and then to St. Louis, and I know the storybook people that want to write fairy tales are going to say St. Louis win the XFL conference. St. Louis basically will get an XFL championship game, like a home game, and then they will obliterate the spring football attendance record. I mean, that dome might be sold out. It might be the first time that you've been in a large-scale dome with a potential sellout, especially if the Stallions make it from the USFL. We're not going to discredit Michigan. Michigan, you still got to go out and win the games, but, the storyline everybody's going to want to see is St. Louis home game for the championship game against the undefeated Birmingham Stallions. But the Brahmas are here, baby, and we're going to try to wreck those plans. We don't live off fairy tale, son. We live off things that happen in the cow pasture, man on man, bull on bull, right? So we got 2 games. We can limp into the playoffs, or we can go out there and dominate. I choose dominate. Nobody's going to push our defense around. With that, real quick, Week 8 scores. We like to throw these up in our review episodes. This is episode 45 of the Brahma Bullpen from the Cow Pasture. Episode 46, we will preview that Birmingham game next week. But scores from this past weekend, Panthers beat the Showboats. Stallions beat the Roughnecks. What I will say is those games were much, much closer than anybody thought they were going to be. So congratulations, Showboats and Roughnecks, for playing for pride. We asked you to play for pride in our review episode last week. Thank you for playing for pride. Y'all guys kept the game close. Doesn't mean jack squat. Panthers, Stallions still in the playoffs. We had playoff implications on the Sunday games. If the Defenders would have won, would have, could have, should have, but didn't, they'd probably still have a chance of making the playoffs, but there's no probably left. Battlehawks did us a favor, beat DC Defenders. Brahmas went 1-1 against DC. There was some guy on social media saying, I think his exact words were, the Brahmas should be thankful the Stallions did the work the Brahmas needed to make the playoffs. We went 1-1, right? I mean, sure, the Battlehawks eliminated you, but you had your opportunity to eliminate us early on, and you didn't do it, right? Those are just facts. Then the Renegades come into San Antonio. I actually like the Renegade team, but your record is what your record says you are, right? This is not college football. If you're a Josh Pate follower, you know he's anti your record is. Your record says what you are. But in this case, at a 10-game spring league football season, you are what your record says you are. In Birmingham, you are 1-7. Renegades, you are 1-7. Ooh, man, I might get some Birmingham. I just misspoke a little bit. I'm not trying to start nothing with you guys. Brahmas locked in the playoffs. Way to go. Updated standings. Here we go. St. Louis and San Antonio are both 6-2. St. Louis has to play Arlington, and St. Louis has to play the Brahmas. The Brahmas have to play Birmingham, and we have to play St. Louis. First place in the XFL conference is totally up for grabs, and the Brahmas control their own destiny. We win out, we get first place. DC and Arlington, see you later. We're not talking about you. Birmingham and Michigan, Birmingham's locked up. I don't even think the Panthers have a chance of getting the first seed. So, there you go. Birmingham, you got it. And Michigan Panthers have been playing a lot better later in the season. Obviously, we got 3 teams that are 6-2. Logic would tell you if you've played 8 weeks and you got 3 teams that are 6-2, guess what? They're all very competitive with one another. Maybe some are better on offense. Maybe some are better on defense. Brahmas. We got the best defense in the damn UFL. And I'm going to just go out on a limb and say that. I know Birmingham's got a great defense. I know the Battlehawks got a really good defense. But I'm not picking any of those guys over the defenders that we got here in San Antonio. I'll take my 3-4 Wade Phillips, best defense in the league. I'm throwing it out there. We'll get into highlights later. We scored 20 points in the first 2 quarters and still won the game 20-15 because we didn't give up no points. I mean, we didn't score no points, but we didn't give up very many points. I mean, shut them down. How many points did Arlington score the week before playing the Brahmas? You guys do the math, right? I don't have to do all the math for you. They scored a lot of points 2 weeks ago and not very many points this week. What's the difference? Our defense. Let's go. But with that being said, those are all our graphics. We're going to get into some of these highlights. The first highlight we're going to start off with is basically just highlights of our offense. And understand, I already told you, we didn't score any points in the second half of this football game, but we scored enough in the first half to win. Dormady came out hot, and most importantly, Anthony McFarland was back. See, that's what people don't understand. We lost our starting running back. We lost our starting quarterback. We lost 2 or 3 of our starting linemen throughout the season. Our offense has struggled. We were down a starting wide receiver this game. But Cody Latimer and Anthony McFarland and Quentin Dormady did what they needed to do to win this football game. Let's watch some big offensive plays together and enjoy.
Second and 7.
First drive of the game.
Going to the air for the first time. Checks it down to McFarland. And McFarland, there's that explosion.
Arlington no tackle good.
McFarland down the sideline. A blocker in front. And McFarland will take it all the way in.
Let's go, baby.
Touchdown. What a start for San Antonio. Create separation and beat your man. Second down and 9. Dormady to the air.
Look at that.
Down the sideline.
Katie Cannon, not on the field much, but we're short Justice Smith this week. Making plays. Look at Dormady hurt him up so he don't get caught. No time for review. There's my boy Latimer.
What a throw to Cody Latimer.
Doing GOAT tight end things.
15, and he rumbles down to the 11. That's an outstanding toss. Manager can mean a lot of different things, but it doesn't have to be negative. Dormady,
look at Latimer. Shoe tip, baby. Ty goes with the receiver.
And Latimer down near midfield. 2 for 3 on third down. This is 3rd and 6. Dormady.
Look at Dormady. Long strider.
Dormady's going to get the first down and more.
He ain't a runner, but he'll make you run. Threat and a half.
Yardage disparity. 2:01 to 23, and McFarland with a burst for more. Slips a tackle.
Hard runner, man. When he gets the ball, he runs hard.
Dragging Renegades to the 11. Second and 12, and McFarland.
And when he catches it, he runs hard too. Does Arlington even know how to tackle?
What a move! Has got the speed. He's got his second touchdown of the day.
I mean, there's all the offensive highlights for the game. Throw some stats up here. Feel free to pause it as I go through it. I'm not going to read every single stat to you. This is kind of like our scoring drive stat we got up here. So Brahmas went TD, field goal, TD. Arlington went field goal, TD, TD, right? 20-15. We scored 10 points in the first quarter, 10 points in the second quarter, nothing the rest of the game. Field goals, we kicked 2, we missed 2. You know, one of the things, extra point attempts, Brahmas went 2 for 2. Arlington went 0 for 2. That's a big thing. That's a big thing in these games, what you do after you score that touchdown. But feel free to pause this and read those more thoroughly if you would like. But I'm going to pop up this next page of stats here. Just more final score stats you can see. We'll start there on the Arlington Renegades side. Luis Perez passed for 209 yards, 2 touchdowns. Dormady passed for 320 yards, 2 touchdowns. So our backup quarterback battled the number 1 quarterback in the league and outplayed him this past weekend, i.e. we win. Very simple, right? You can look at our rushing yards compared from team to team. We rushed for 73 yards. They rushed for 65 yards. Look at our receiving yards, 209 to 320. Look at Cody Latimer right there. If you guys can see that. He had the most catches, 6, 116 yards. He was targeted 7 times, so only missed 1 time. John Trey Kirkland, he was targeted 9 times, caught it 5 times, 48 yards. Look at McFarland. 3 catches, 118 yards, and 2 touchdowns. I know he's a running back, but if you're scoring a touchdown, 66% of the time you touch the ball, hey, man, keep giving this man the ball. Welcome back. He's been out injured the past few weeks. Our offense has struggled. I don't think it's a coincidence, right? Look at the game comparison stats over there. One of the things we like to look at is red zone. We went 0 for 3 in the red zone. What does that tell you? Every time we scored was from way on the other side of the field. We weren't even in the red zone. We had no fumbles. They got 2 fumbles. We had 2 sacks. They had 3 sacks. So what a game, man. The penalties, we had 6 for 45. They had 8 for 65 yards. Very, very, very close comparison. First downs, 19 to 16. Crazy. Feel free to like I said, read those stats later. I got one more page of stats here. This stat here I wanted to put here basically because of field goals. We went 2 for 4. They went 1 for 1. You got some defensive stats there on the right-hand side. Look at the tackles, solo tackles, quarterback hurries. There's your sack numbers again. Fumble recoveries by Renegade, 2. We got 0. In all intents and purposes, they won the turnover battle, right? I mean, they won the turnover battle. And we still were able to get up there, get the win. Look at the time of possession, 32 minutes to 27 minutes, very comparable. We went 3 for 10 on third downs. They went 5 for 11, so their third down ratio a little bit better than ours. What a great game. When you have great defense, you can actually overcome losing the stat battle, right? So now we got to see all the stats. We got to see some offensive plays. Now we're going to look at some defensive plays. These defensive plays are what reassure me that we have the best defense in the league. We do have a chance to win a playoff game. We do have a chance to beat Birmingham and St. Louis in the regular season these next 2 weeks, and it's because of our defense. If our offense can just compete, our defense is good enough to win us ball games. Check out this tackle by Beckett.
Second down and 10. Perez pressure up the middle, a little shovel to Darrington, and Darrington twisted to the turf by Tavante Beckett. Early pressure and the finish by Beckett blew up the play, and it's 3rd and long.
I tell you, this defense is awfully aggressive, and Wade Phillips is
Awfully
been
aggressive.
known for great
Watch
defense.
this.
And you look at these
Watch
guys
him duck
playing
around the block.
downhill, and they're trying to run a little bit of a delayed screen right there, almost like
Whoop.
a little shovel over the left
That old
side.
lineman just
And
whiffed.
Tavante Beckett is just having none of that.
Having none of it. And it's not just our linebackers. We've been calling the linebacker core for the Brahmas the best in the league since before the league started with Beckett and Jordan Williams, right? I've been saying it for weeks, months. But we weren't real sure what our secondary was going to be like. We had the league's #1 PFF rated cornerback get hurt in Phillips, and he has been out. And ever since then, we've been trying to make things work, make things happen. And, you know, a local kid from UTSA, Mayfield, he's really been stepping up the past few weeks. So I'm going to throw in a Mayfield highlight right here. Boom. Get it out. Get it out. That play was talked about on the telecast where they said maybe it was pass interference, you know, did his hands touch him early, blah, blah, blah. I finally heard Dean Blandino say something that made sense to me, that if you were going to review it, you would have to watch it in real time, not slow-mo, in order to determine whether or not he had got there early. I like that. Don't watch it in slow-mo because there'd be pass interference on every play. And most of the time, we don't get any of those calls. So, you know, I'm glad that the refs at least kept the flags in their pocket. There was like 3 or 4 grounding calls I think should have been called in this game. All kinds of crazy stuff was happening. One thing, you know, forward progress. You know, you talk about forward progress. Sometimes when you're on offense, you want them to call it. Sometimes you don't want to call them. Check out this run by Lindsey Scott. He came in and tried to give him a spark right before halftime for the Renegades. And if you're a Brahmas fan, you wanted forward progress called quick. If you're a Renegade fan, you didn't want forward progress because he was kind of pushing the pile. But it's kind of comical. This was posted by the UFL on Twitter, X. And it's pretty funny, right? Because he's fighting, and he's talking smack while he's doing it. And then he's telling them, you can't get the ball. And then the Brahmas got the ball. Check this out. I thought it was pretty funny.
Hey, the funny part is, I'm holding the ball like this, and there's punching, and I'm like, I'm not gonna stop trying. I ain't gonna fumble. And somebody came and said, no. I need that clip, bro. I need a mic'd up clip. I ain't gonna fumble. Oh, shit.
Oh, miss.
Yeah, get that. Oh, she got it.
You ain't getting it. Oh, you ain't getting it. Oh, you got it. Dude, how awesome that the UFL reposted that. It was mic'd up. Everybody got to hear it. I appreciate the UFL's official X account for reposting that. Just a fun deal. You know, if you try to stay up too long, maybe the defense will pull the ball out of your arms, right? Just like what happened there. It's crazy. We actually didn't get that turnover. They said he was down before we got it out. And there was a couple of turnovers that we were like literally millimeters away from from getting and actually making this game even more of a dominant game on the Brahmas part. But we shut down Luis Perez, right? And then here's a couple of short goal line defensive stop. The first one was in the fourth quarter. Renegades are down there trying to score the ball. It's getting late in the game. They decide to go for it on 3rd and inches and then 4th and inches. And this is the 4th and inches play.
It's Smith working. Does he have enough with that surge, or did the Brahmas get the stop?
He stretched the ball out, man. He really was trying to get it. But, you know, the microchip in the ball don't lie. Wherever they placed it, microchip don't lie. And then they wind up scoring, get the game within 5 points. They missed the extra point attempt, right? So they're down 5, so they have to get a touchdown in order to beat us in the fourth quarter. They decide to go for it on 4th and 12. And I want you to look at this 4th and 12. The Brahmas know what's happening. They basically take all but 3 players, put them back in coverage. So you got 8 players in coverage. You got 3 on the D-line. They got 5 blockers down there. Look what our 3 D linemen were able to do to these 5 blockers.
Perez needs the 40. Pressure comes, steps away.
Look at the linemen all standing there looking down at Perez on the ground.
Are going to the playoffs.
Help him up. Help your boy up. Locked us into the playoffs, man. Ended the game right there. Not only ended the game, I took the under on Perez prop bet, and that won me $100 also. So congratulations to me. I won $100 on that. We're going to throw up some defensive stats here. Nothing super crazy, right? Nothing's going to just jump out at you and just say, hey, man, look at these stats. We dominated. We only got the 2 sacks. Jordan Mosley with 9 tackles. Tavante Beckett with 8. Jordan Williams with 5. Ray, with 5. Those are the guys we've been talking about all year. Delonte Scott, 4 tackles. He's got that half a sack. Tim Ward down there, 1 tackle, 1 sack. You know, it's crazy. Half a sack. But yeah, man, look at these stats. Wyatt Ray got that 1 full sack on his own there in the game. But nothing crazy. We just locked them down. They obviously weren't getting a lot of passing yards. They weren't even able to run the ball. Brahmas locked in first playoff, secured the first playoff bid in franchise history. And one thing we're going to share with you from the Brahmas social media, we're going to pop it up here. I actually appreciated them sharing this. I never really, obviously no one's ever seen it for the Brahmas before, but a team that I root for, how does a team get notified by the league that they made the playoffs? I don't know. Let's watch it together.
Congratulations on another great team win. Your coaches, players, staff have worked hard to get to this point, and on behalf of the UFL, I'd like to give you this tribute to the team.
Comes in an envelope.
That's a bonus for everybody.
Ooh, they do get bonuses for making the playoffs.
All right, the San Antonio Brahmas have officially clinched berth in the 2024 XFL Conference Championship game. The next 2 we play at home. Okay? We're not through yet. All right? So let's win this conference and then go on and play at home and then win the championship.
You hear that? If you were wondering what the game's going to be like when the Birmingham Stallions come down here to San Antonio, down here to the cow pasture, Wade Phillips wants home field advantage for the first round of the playoffs. In order to do that, we have to beat Birmingham here in the Dome this Saturday, and we have to beat St. Louis in St. Louis in their Dome. And then that makes it to where we would have home field advantage and St. Louis would have to travel to San Antonio. And I think it's only fair. If we go in to their stadium in Week 10 and beat them, the repercussion should be they come here for a home game. Well, it's going to be awesome the next 2 games for the San Antonio Brahmas. Watch for the team to be playing hard. Wade Phillips knows what he wants to do. Before we get out of here, we got to share our player of the week. And it, of course, has to be Anthony McFarland. 136 all-purpose yards, 18 rushing, 118 receiving, and 2 touchdowns, both of them from over 40 yards away. Brahmas win 2015. Let's go Brahmas, locked in for the playoffs. Last graphic we're going to show you, the weekly podcast. I like to just pop them up here. If you got a special team that you like, or if you want to watch a league podcast, you can see the graphics on the right. If you want to see the Stallions Run podcast, talk smack about the Brahmas this coming week, go over there and watch that. If you want to watch any of the other podcasts for teams not in the playoffs, feel free to help yourself out with that. But we got the Stallions coming to San Antonio. We appreciate you watching. Congratulations. We are in the playoffs, baby. Playoffs. For the first time in our history, the Brahmas have secured the playoffs. With that, we're going to get out of there. We're going to end it with a horns forward. Let's go Brahmas, baby. Playoff Brahmas.